Hello. What is going on, team? It is Friday. It's been a pretty successful week. A few wins this week include having a day off on Monday after Snowden because I was exhausted, and the business has done pretty well this year. So sometimes you have to sit back, have some reflection and be like, actually, I'm going to take some time off. So April and I went for breakfast, which was good. Had a full-on fry up, and then over to my mum's for a barbecue. Onboarded loads of people this week, got them actually into the program and done their program, so ready to start next week. A few people did start this week, but I was trying to delay that start date till next week. And then today, I'm going to actually do something that I never do, which is talk actually about the thing that people pay me for, which is training, because I'm very aware that I don't shout about exactly what I'm doing, and it's not because I want to keep trade secrets to myself, because I believe in collaboration, but it's because I think that there's nothing that I have said that hasn't been said online somewhere before by someone probably more intelligent than I am. So I prefer to build that trust with someone and then explain what I'm doing and why. So today I'm going to go through a bit of a strength session, and because the 60 days is over now, so it's all about what is next for me and how do I maintain motivation, discipline. I mean, not that I believe in motivation anyway, but maintain that structure. And I've actually decided to go through something a little bit new. So my routine starting next week will be 3 runs, a longer distance, a medium distance, and intervals. So maybe a 10, a 5, and some sprints. I'm going to try and do a boxing session a week because I love the sport, and you never know, maybe I want to get back into it. And 2 weight sessions. So what's that? 6 sessions, but 1 or 2 of them are very short, 20, 25 minutes. So you could probably double up on that day. And today I'm going to be doing one of the strength sessions that I'll be looking at next week. I'm coming off the back of a pretty bad lower back injury that I've had over the last 14 months. So I'm going to show exactly how I would warm up for the session we're about to do and why I'm doing everything as well. So we'll have a little bit of talking, some explaining, some rationale, and just some sending it as well. So we'll do a little bit of that. I've only got 40 minutes, and this is a massive problem with my training as well, and has been for the last year, is I don't have that time. Where I'm putting so much into business, and I'm putting so much into family as well, my training suffers in terms of time. So I've got 40 minutes, then I'm going to meet the girls. Well, by girls I mean my daughter and my fiance, not Hugh Hefner and the girls. That would be nice though. I hope April didn't watch this bit. That would not be nice. I would hate that. So I've only got 40 minutes to get this done. So I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna warm up quickly using the ramp protocol, which is raise, activate, mobilize, and potentiate, which I'll go through. Stabilize the spine with the big 3 that I'll use from Dr. Stuart McGill, and then into the session. So peace out. Boom. So firstly, when I'm trying to mobilise, I'm looking at areas that I don't often sit in. So where I've been on the computer a bit more recently, my spine is sitting in flexion. So if you imagine you're sitting like that a little bit, you see that spine is rounded? So during my warm-up, I'm actually trying to promote the opposite way, which is extension, which you can see me in now. And then also I'm looking at the upper back. So when I come into this position and I rotate, that's thoracic rotation there. So I'm looking at getting that decent rotation over, trying to promote mobility through the upper back and upper spine there. And we flip and over. So this is actually called the greatest stretch alive, and because it does a bit of everything: hip mobility, thoracic rotation, extension, hamstrings. It's great, man. And then I slip into the pigeon stretch, moving through, trying to open up that glute, which you can make it a little bit harder by swinging the arm through, like so, and then trying to forcefully open. And that is going to be pretty impressive for some. So I'm doing this after I've just been on the bike for 5 minutes, but I thought everyone knows how to ride a bike. So that is the raise part. We are raising body temperature, heart rate, which you can tell by my breath that I've done. We are now mobilising the joints, mobilising the area, looking through a 90-90 stretch at the moment. We're going to go through our activation part in a second. Go through some of those tight areas. So for most people, they'll be similar to me. Hips, lower back and shoulders are a little bit stiff. Oh, you can feel that, it's gnarly. So as we're working through, this is the McGill Big 3 that I'm going to show you, and it's a guy called Dr. Stuart McGill who has devoted his life to back pain, obviously lower back pain, especially lower back pain, and there's this protocol of 3 exercises called the McGill Big 3, which has the McGill curl, a bird dog, and a side plank variation. We are going to go through them now, and I'll show you how to do them correctly, because most people will do a bird dog wrong. I'm not sure if you're about to see me. I need to get the knees out. I need to get the knees on it. So from this position, you'll see whenever people do what bird dog looks like, so here, you'll see people throwing the leg up and getting that extension in the lower back, which is not what we want. We want to keep a nice neutral spine. If anything, I don't mind a little bit of flexion in that, where it's slightly rounded. From here, the rib cage is locked down, so lock that rib cage down. And then extend. And do you see how low that back foot comes off? That back foot cannot get any higher. As soon as if it goes any higher than that, I'm caving at the back. So locked, extend, and over. If you're watching this at home, give it a go. You should feel this glute working, and also that core. Show you a bit closer, and from the front so you can see. Extend. Can you see? Well, yeah, I'm not going to see anything like that. Extend, core tight. Let's bring you down. Let's bring you down. So elbow. God, I'm getting old. Bring you down so you can really see. Get a face full of it. Go slightly angle. Core tight. Extend and up. Do you see how there's no extension in that lower back? It's nice and tight. Hold. And other side. Hold. If you do this correctly, you should feel it. And again. This is just going to help promote stability of the spine. I'll show you the next one. But just before we move on, I wanted to show you the kind of second level to that bird dog. So level 1, I was discussing the lower leg and more rounded core here. And then if you were to make it slightly harder, then you can bring that leg up without collapsing at the back and holding. That requires a fair bit more stability while still keeping neutral through the spine. And you can see the leg is now higher, but there's still a straight line between the heel and the shoulder. Lovely jubbly. Going into the McGill curl. So this one is going to require you to have laying on your back, one leg out straight, one knee bent, hands under the lower back. We're going to use our core to crush the hands, crush, and then lift and hold. We're only off the floor by an inch or so. Breathing into the core, trying to crush the hands as hard as you can. You can see that shake I've got going on. That. Down. And repeat. Crush, up, elbows off. We're aiming for about 10 seconds, approximately. You can swap legs if you want. Crush, up.
Yeah. So we're aiming for about 10 reps as well. So 10 reps of 10 seconds. Crush and up. Nice long open chest. Bang out one more. And there's a few variations to how you want to run through this one. Now, I personally have a slightly adapted version, but you've got, say, like an option here. You've got an option here, which I quite like, because I'm pushing through that glute, and this is where I find my weaknesses from. So as I open up here, I can really feel this glute and this glute working. And you can make this more challenging by putting a resistance band around the knees and pushing against that. You can also come up into a full side plank variation, and even something like this. 30-second holds, foot nice and flat, pushing against here, pushing up here, pushing that nice and high. Should feel the glute and even a bit of obliques in there, some QL. Ooh, baby. Down and repeat the other side. So I'm not timing these, but I've done them enough times in my life to, know when I've switched on what I need to switch on. Up, open, push. Leg goes a little bit behind, and that just helps get that glute working just a touch further. And then when I'm doing this, I'll kind of go over why I've decided to have that training split. And that is because I believe in being ready for things. So I don't know what my next challenge is, but that program that I've set, it's running heavy, yes, but that's going to provide me with a really good aerobic base. So then if I want to go to a high rocks, I'm pretty fit. If I want to go back to boxing, I'm pretty fit, and I'm also keeping up boxing once a week. And I'm keeping up my strength work as well, so which will keep my overall robustness and athleticism at a decent rate. So there's the rationale behind that training split of the 3-2-1 kind of protocol. All right, let's stop yappering and let's get into it. So we're just doing deadlifts today as like a main mover, and you can see I've got the big plates on. So these 25s are bigger than a standard traditional Olympic plate. I'll show you. So this will be like a traditional size, and you can see the difference as I put that next to it. As I put that on, you should be able to see that. And the reason I'm using the bigger plates today is because as I've noticed that my back pain really kicks in at, like I said, bottom when the spine's in flexion. So if I'm deadlifting and I'm trying to go from here, I'm a little bit exposed to get into that flexion, and that's a mobility issue, but just not one I want to address right now. So by doing it on those 25s, it just means that rather than picking up from here, I'm picking up a little bit higher, and you can just see the difference that makes to that back. So for now, as I'm building up the tolerance to be able to handle weight in that position, I'm using the bigger plates, or you could just raise the platform by putting standard Olympic plates, on top of one, and that will raise it up. So rationale behind that, I like the double overhand grip, so I don't mess around with none of that. The mixed grip, I don't mess around with it. I like double overhand because it's good for the forearms, it's good for the traps, and you'll see as I get to that position, rather than being all the way down here, I can allow it to be a little bit more upright. I've got long legs and really short T-Rex arms, so this suits me, or a sumo would, but this position by being a little bit higher just suits me. From here, drive, much better. Feel strong. Well, not that there's a lot of weight, but you know what I mean. Comfy. comfortable. Forgot to even say, like, this is the studio. This is where the magic happens. We're pretty kitted out. Oh hello, pretty kitted out. We've got the old soul bike, the trusty box that this is standing on, speaker which has done us God knows how many years, some plates. The old next gen, so this was originally what we started with. Curl, trap, squat rack, obviously big bar. We've got some smaller and some EZs there. We've got the dumbbell rack up to 35s, which is pretty cool. And then we got cable machine also, and enough mirrors for me because obviously super vain, so gotta have loads of mirrors when I'm looking at myself. But if you're watching this, you've probably already been here. Moving on to bent over rows now. So I think when it comes to training, a lot of people try and spin too many plates, and for me, building back that resilience into holding decent weight is not going too mad. Focus on the posterior chain, so the back of the body, deadlifts, rows, pull-ups, single arm rows, machine rows, cable rows, whatever. I'm thinking a lot about pulling, less about pushing. I just want to get as much tin in a hinge position, deadlift position, RDL, whatever, where that back hated it. And bent over row is just another version of that. Also, just trying to build the trap and necks up. Again, if I do decide to go back to training and boxing, then I want to have that resilient neck. Having strong neck and traps reduces likelihood of concussion. And if you're as bad a boxer as I am, then you need that reduction. You need all the help you can get. So when I come into here, always start the row from all the way to the top. People who start from the bottom are just madmen. Hinge over to just below the knee, nice straight back, and pull that in. I'm always looking for elbows to go towards the hips and not towards the chest. You see the wrist curl? We don't want that. We want towards the hips. Boom, boom. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. When you're in that row, I'm always looking, same as single arm, anything, is I'm looking to get that back. Now see that sort of right angle there on the arm, rather than what you'll see is people lifting up like this, T-Rex arms, and that's just going to be forearm, bicep curl like that. You want to be row, row, same as anything else. You're rowing down. You're not rowing, that's okay, but you're trying not to row like this. You want to row there. Bring that elbow to the back pocket. You'll feel it 10 times more, better for the shoulder. People are rowing who've got internally rotated shoulders from a desk. People are rowing like this, and they're just internally rotating that shoulder more. You want that scoop, external rotation, row. Right, see how much better that looks, rather than smashing, boom, boom. You have to boom when you do it as well. We're going to stay consistent with trap work here, and I'm going to use a chest supported reverse fly. So I like to get into this position, and now you can from here, like some people will externally rotate their hands so their palms are facing forward, but because I'm using a bit of a heavier weight here, I'm going to leave my palms facing one another. From there, up. Oh, it's not heavy weight actually, that was a lie. Keeping it super controlled when you're doing something like this. I'm not throwing it up. It's boom. You can feel everything whilst I'm doing that. 10 reps of it will be fine. I'll pivot that to face you. We'll go again. you know, I'm not finishing much later. I'll do this and some accessory work on, you know, the biceps or whatever, and you'll look at that and be like, oh, it's a pretty easy day, and it is. Obviously, I'm just getting back into it, but the main point is my training, getting in shape and staying in shape are two very different things. Priorities right now aren't exactly training, but you'll see as I've set this new program now, you'll see over the coming weeks how things get really ramped up. So this is like, you know, your GPP, your general physical preparedness before putting your engine in your car, before ramping it up. So that's what a today will look like. Nothing mad, 4 or 5 sets of each exercise, but picking less. Rather than going into the gym, picking 10 exercises, doing 3 of each. Just bringing it back to some fundamental movements, waking up some muscles that have not been doing much for a while. You know, after Snowed on the weekend, I was feeling a little bit tight through the upper back, so that's why today looks a lot of traps and rhomboids and lower trap. And then you'll see from next week the training volume starts going up a little bit because work calms down slightly where the 60 days is over. So this is a perfect example, or a perfect time to showcase this, to showcase what I do in downtime when I'm just trying to stay in shape, and then you'll see from next week what it looks like when I'm trying to get in shape. So we just finished with some curls, and one of my favourite ways of doing that is bench, slight incline, 60 degrees, maybe a little bit more. Not very good at, I was never a protractor. Lean back, arms out, open, all the way down we're looking. Too many people are half rep and bicep curls, and the gains are made in the bottom position. Drop the weight, I've only got 12s on here. Boom. 3 sets of 12 of these, you're laughing. Guns on him. Guns on him. That was it. That concludes it for me today. Keeping it super simple, super easy. Like I said, just returning back after Snowdon, after the 60 days, High Rocks, just where everything has been 10-10. I'm just easing my way back into that. And that was a nice easy day today. And to be honest with you, the most important bit for me was the beginning bit when I'm looking at doing the McGill stuff. And then the deadlift, pain-free, which is very key for me because I've had crippling pain for so long now that I'm sick of it. And now you'll see next week when I start ramping it up, you'll be like, oh shit, that's how we train. So you gotta do the easy stuff to let you do the hard stuff. Overall, brilliant week, good business week, good family week, and back in training. So happy boy, enjoy your weekend. What am I doing this weekend? I'm running with the boys. I might grab the camera, see if I can get it. We're part of the Unsociable social running club, so there's no talking in it. You're not allowed to talk because it's completely unsociable. So, see you Sunday.